doing? It's Jeff back again with another classic Iron Maiden song, and of course we're looking at Run Silent, Run Deep from the No Prayer for the Dying album. Going to be looking at all of the guitar parts, start to finish, and of course if you'll click on the link below in the description, take you to my website, and all the tablature will be there for you. Talking about clicking on links, if you are new to the channel, you just popped in, checking it out, if you're a big Maiden fan, really you want to be part of this channel. So why not help yourself and at the same time help me? Please click on that subscription button. That way you're going to be notified whenever I'm posting any new material to the channel. And of course, make sure you click on that bell. You don't do that, you don't always get notified by YouTube. So do yourself a big favor, click on that bell. If you've been here before, help me out, give it a big thumbs up. Anyway, enough of all the begging. Let's get into this song and let me show you how to play Run Silent, Run Deep. So you know the score, don't go away.
Preview.
Right, let's have a look at the opening sequence that I played at the beginning. So we're going to start off on the 7 on the A string, and then playing the 9 on the D and 9 on the G, and then back to the 9 on the D. Then on the G string, we're going to play the 10, and I use my little finger for that. And then, because I'm holding down that finger, I keep that finger across all on the 7th fret, I'm going to go to the 7 on the G. And then I've got a 7 on the D, and then back to the 9 on the G. So that bar goes. Then we go back to the 7 on the D string, and we're going to play 7, 9 across the 7 on the D and 9 on the G. Then I'm lifting up my finger, I'm going to play 7 on the D, 7 on the G. Then back to the 7 on the D, and then I'll drop my finger down and play the 9 on the G. So that bar will go. Then I'm going to play 7 on the A and 7 on the G. Then I drop my 2 fingers back on the 9 on the D and 9 on the G, and I play that twice. Play that all the way through. Now I'm going to repeat everything that I've just played up to the point where I would play that double 7 at the end. So I'm going to play. That's exactly the same, but now I'm going to move down to the 5 on the A and 5 on the D. Play that together, and then I drop my fingers down on 7 on the D and 7 on the G and play that. Then I go back and repeat. And from there, we are going into section A, which is on the tablature sheet. And we're also going to change the sound because we're now going to the overdrive guitar. So I'm just going to play you through the first part, which goes something like this. And what I'm doing now, I'm going from a G5 down to an F sharp 5. So I'm playing 10 and 12 going down to 9, 11. Then we move down to an E5 chord. We're going to play that once. Then we got 2 chugs on the low E string. Back to the E5. 2 more chugs on the E. And we've got this sequence here, which is going from an 8, which is an F5, down to a D5 to an E5, which goes. So that opening section. Now we've got a whole bar that is sitting on this E5 power chord. Instead of playing the open E string, we are going to pedal on the 7th fret on the A string, and we're going to play the power chord 4 times. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4. Each time pedaling back onto that E, and a bit of palm muting going in there. Now we're going to go back to playing that E with the pedal on the open string, and then that movement from the G, from the F to the D to the E. So we go. And once we've played that, we're going to move down to a C5 chord, and we're going to go from a C5 to a D5 chord. And then we're going to do a chug on the D5 using the 5th fret on the A string. And we're going to play the chord 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finishing with that little chug on the 5th fret. And then we're going to repeat the same phrasing, but we're going to do it from an A to a B. So we get. And then we're going to chug on here 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finishing on that, on the end of the sequence. So let me just recap what we've done so far. And from there, we've got this little riff that we put at the end of the sequence. And what I'm playing is 5/7 on the low E, 5/7 on the A, cross to the 5 on the D, and then we do a 7/5/7 on the A. Now that takes us to the end of the sequence. Let me just cover that just so you can see how that rolls in from that A5. And then we go back to, we play that full sequence where we've got a bar on the E. Play that again. Then we go and do the 3 to the 5. But this time we go from the 2, which is the B flat, to the C sharp, so from the B to the C sharp. So we go. We're going to play this 6 times. Finishing on that, on the 4th fret twice. Now we go into section B on the sheet, which is just all power chords. Where we're going to play that, we start off on an E5 power chord going down to a D5 power chord. It goes like this. Then we go down to a B5, C5, to a D. Go back to the E to the D, down to the B5. And then we cross over onto the E string and we do a G to an A. So we go. Now we repeat that through twice. In fact, he goes through it 4 times. Now coming out of the next part, one of the guitars keeps going, which in this case will be Yannick Gears. And what we've got is a section, a little melodic section that is played over the top of that by Dave Murray, which is what we're going to check out now. So I'm just going to play that little melodic line and then we'll break it down. Okay, very simple. We're just going to go from 8 on the B to 10 on the B, across to the 7 on the high E, and then we're going to play 10 on the B to the 7 again on the high E, and then across to the 8 on the B. And then we got a 10, 8, 7 pull-up. And we go back to the 8, 10 on the B string. crossing over to that 7, back to do an 8-10 on the B, to the 7 on the B, and then we've got an 8-7 pull off on the B, to the 9 on the G. And that just repeats through, and you're going to play that 4 times. Now we are going to look at section D. We're going to focus on the rhythm guitar that is played over that section. Now section D is actually over the first solo, which is played by Yannick Gears. So we are going to focus on what Dave Murray in fact is playing behind that solo. So I'm just going to play it through and then we'll break it down. Okay, a little fun thing to play behind as a rhythm. So we're going to start off on the 2nd fret, which is the F sharp on the low E string. Just play that once. Then we're going to go across to the octave of that, which is on the 4th fret on the D string. And we're going to play that 4 times, alternating. Sorry, 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we get. And we're going to go down to the 2nd fret on the D string. We're going to play that 4 times. And then we're going to go and play the 5, 5th fret, 3 times. So. We're going to go back now and go back to that low on the E string, 2nd fret. And we repeat the first part, which is the 5 on the 4, or the 5 picks on the 4th fret. Open string, play that 3 times. And then we've got 2 on the D string, pulling off to open string. And then 2 on the A string. You can pick them if you want. So that line would go. And then we just repeat that. That gets repeated through the bulk of the solo played by Yannick Gears. Right, let's move on. Now this section is section E, which is Dave Murray's guitar solo. So now we're going to switch over. We are going to look at what Yannick Gears is playing behind that solo. I'm going to break this down into 2 sections. So let's look at the first section, which he plays through twice. It goes like this. When I'm doing that, I'm way up on 12th fret, and I'm going to be on the A, and I'm going to play that as like the Iron Maiden gallop with that. And then I'm going to go up to the B flat, which is on the 13th fret, and I'm going to play that twice. Move down to 10th fret on the G, play that twice. And then I've got this movement between 10th fret, which is the G5, to the D5. We're going to move between that. Do that. So we got this G, D, G, D, back to the G, slide up to the A, then hit it again. So we get, and then we repeat the whole thing. So that gets played twice. Now, the next part goes like this. So when I'm playing there, I'm on that A5, just play that twice. Up to the B flat. Then down to the G5. And then I'm going to play that D to the G. Back to the D, to the G, slide up. Right, now we're going to look at what I would say is probably the most challenging part of this song. We've got an alternating picked pattern that repeats. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it through and then I'll break it down for you note by note. It goes something like this. So we're going to start off on the D string and we're going to play 14, 12, 14. Then cross over to the G string and we're going to do 11, 12, 11. Then 12 to 14 again on the G string. And then 12 on the B string. Back to 14G. B string, and we've got 12, 13, 15. Back to the 13. Into the 15. And then cross over to the 12 on the high E string. And we're going to start working down. So we do 14 on the high E string going to 12. Then we got 15, 13, 15, 13. Then we got 12. And then 14 on the G string. And then back to the D string doing 12, 13, 12. And 14 again on the G. Back to the B12, and then it's 14, 12, 11 on the G. Let me play that nice and slowly for you. And then of course you're going to repeat it. That in total gets played, you're going to play that 4 times, that entire riff, so that takes some going, especially at the speed you've got to be playing it. Right, let's move towards the end of the song. And from there we go back to the section that goes like this. Play that all the way through as we've looked at previously, and then the final close-up part is the section that goes... Play that all the way through, and that takes us to the end of the song. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed learning how to play Run Silent, Run Deep. Not too bad a song to play, got some nice little rhythms. That said, the challenging part is that little section towards the end with that pick pattern. That really does take a little bit of work to get that picking part together. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'll let you get into it. Don't forget, links going to be there taking you to the website. All the tabs will be there for you as well. So, get into it and enjoy it. And until the next time, this is Jeff wishing you well. Until the next time, goodbye.